She's a trailblazer in African branding and a fearless advocate for people-centered leadership. From turning Fright into Ghana's #1 oil brand to reshaping narratives across telecom, agriculture, and cosmetics, her work has transformed industries across the continent. As CEO of African Brand Warrior, a queen mother, and a global award-winning leader, she uses branding not just to build businesses, but to uplift communities. This afternoon on the Today's Women Show, we welcome a powerhouse of purpose and of Pan-African excellence, Fatima Alimohamed. My name is Audrey Salome, your host, and I have the honor and pleasure of sitting with Fatima to hear her story. Before then, woman to woman, my thoughts are on building brands, building nations. Now, branding is more than a logo. I have come to know that it's identity, its value, and its power. When you build a brand, you tell the world who you are and why you matter. For a person, it's purpose. For a business, it's your promise. And for a nation, it's your presence on the world stage. Think about it. Brands shape perception. Perception drives trust. And trust builds economies. That's why nations with strong brands attract more attention, more investment, and of course, more influence. So when we say build brands, build nations, we're simply saying define your story, own your space, and lead with value. Because a strong brand isn't just seen, it's remembered, it's respected, and in the end, it becomes a legacy. So my dears, build boldly, brand wisely, because when we build brands, we build nations. Please stay tuned as we go for a short commercial break. Welcome back. Since we are talking brand, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, the brand that truly cares, Gino Tomato Mix, Onion and Pepper Mix, Jollof Mix, and AB supported by my glam squad, SO Aesthetics. My star guests, the revelation you've all been waiting for.
Mother Fatima is a tireless advocate for unity, heritage, and African excellence. Her story is not just about success, it's about legacy.
Welcome, Fatima. So you gotta dance a little. Come on, dance. Get it. Yeah. Into the show. Yeah, got it. Lovely having you here. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So I'm so excited you're here because you're instrumental in one of my favorite brands. So I'm a restaurateur, and Fright is, I swear by it. I don't buy any oil but Fright. So God, Fright should be paying me for saying all of this, shouldn't they now? Yeah. So we'll talk about that later. But how did you get into brand building?
By accident.
Oh. Tell me the story, I've got all ears.
I was studying in London. As you know, I'm Kenyan. I was going back home, and just like in Ghana, it's an African thing. Who you know, who knows somebody who knows. And I was coming back home and looking for a job. And it was actually my mother who, through a friend, got me into advertising and communication. And I started working for an agency and then worked for global agencies. got into the marketing field by accident because my background is actually criminal law
That's
and
what I was
psychology.
going to ask.
And then I did go and start studying marketing, and then I did my MBA in that as well, then did mergers and acquisition. And before I knew it, I had a passion for it, but it also worked amazingly well, taking into account, coming in from a psychology background, consumers are all about that, trying to understand what's going on in their mind, apart from the fact that I love to read people's mind and what they think.
You do?
Oh yeah, I love to sit in places where people just assume a lot of things about me, and because they don't know my background, I just know what's going on in their head. So it's like, I can hear you, you know.
People watching.
I'm watching it, but the beauty is that with consumers, this whole thing about people assuming that there's a similarity between a need and a want, whereas they're totally different. What I need is not necessarily what I want. So it worked very, very well, and then before I knew it, I got stuck into it, and it's now my bread and butter.
How do you think your work has challenged outdated narratives about African brands and African countries?
I believe, I mean, I say it unabashedly, I'm so confident. I'm not overconfident, but I'm very confident to the point that even if you go onto my LinkedIn profile or whatever, I say, I don't think there's anybody else that can talk about African brands or African markets the way I do. Reason being is that I've seen a lot of people who tend to be sitting behind desks and working and creating their presentations, and I'm not saying that I'm better than either one of them. It's just the way we would do things. So I keep saying, if my shoes, the soles of my shoes had a tongue, which technically they do, if you look at it, they would speak. And they would tell you about the places that I go, the people that I sit with in markets, because it's about feeling the pulse of the market, being able to understand why people do what they do, why they use what they use, and are they using it in the way that you're choosing to market to them?
Understanding the consumer. Yeah. Now that's why I guess you're known for saying that branding is not just about products, it's about the people themselves.
Yeah.
But let's take it back a little. As a young child, what was childhood like, your childhood like?
I wish I could really
remember.
No, I mean, I don't remember a lot because like I mentioned earlier, I did go through a certain trauma that has sort of made me block a lot of things. A trauma in the sense that, not that I had the best life, I know that.
But just life, basically.
Yeah, but whatever I went through is sort of, a part of my brain is not able to remember things, a lot of things and that. But I had the best. I've grown in the most amazing family. I wouldn't trade my family for anything else. I had the most liberal parents, to the point that my father used to drop us to, you know,
the nightclub
clubs or whatever, and pick
seriously?
us up. Oh yeah. And my mom I come from a background where my mom was and is a powerhouse. This is a woman who used to walk in 7-inch, 8-inch heels with security guards and guns because she was working for government. So we were being picked up by army personnel to be dropped to school and stuff like that. So I've lived the life. But in that, I enjoy the life that we had because we used to go and visit friends on weekends. We've played musical chairs. I've done the stuff of going to rivers and picking tadpoles, you know, and stuff like that. So I wish I could go back to that life, because once you grow up, which for me was at a very young age, at around 18 when I came back from London, life just happened. I was working, and then that's it. That was the end of everything else. Real life.
Set in.
So as much as we can say that you do take time off, you do go to the beach, you go on holidays, but it's not the same. You're still doing it with a sense of responsibility, because you know at the end of the day you're going to come back and you're going to have to try and recover all the expenses that you spent. So if there was any regret, the only two regrets I ever have in life, one would be I wish I really didn't have to grow up and didn't have to adult, and I could enjoy life then. And the second one was if I could have had a second child with my ex-husband, because my daughter's amazing. If I knew that's what I'd get, I'm the only child, then, you know, there would have been two.
But what brought you to Ghana?
So I was working for one of the largest conglomerates in Africa. You'd call it the African multinational. I got transferred to Uganda, and obviously I was going through certain issues in Kenya. Like I said, I was going through my divorce. I was going through my dad being terminally ill, and there was just a lot of stuff happening. Then I just decided, okay, it's time to go, because going through my court case, divorce, and my ex-husband was fighting for custody of my daughter. And I realized that I have brought this being to this world. It is my responsibility to make sure. And I mean, I've never been, never have, and never ever want to be put into a situation where I ever ask for anyone to help me, you know, to raise my child financially. I believe in community, I believe in village. So yes, you can help spiritually, you can help mentally, emotionally, but financially, no. So I had an offer to join one of the largest agencies. I'm sure you've heard of McCann Erickson.
Yes,
I was supposed to go in as the CEO for that in Kenya. And then the job that I was in also offered me to move to Uganda. So I had to look at it, and I thought, money, I mean, I was going to be paid
a lot more.
It was, at that time, we're talking about $1 million, it was around $10,000 at that time, which is still a lot of money and all the expenses and everything, to then move to another place. And where I was moving to, Ginger was sort of in the village at the time. Ginger was still not an upmarket place or city. And where I could walk into a supermarket and take things on credit and pay them, like, you know, after 2 weeks, because they know you. You sneeze and they catch a cold. Yeah. So yeah, but then it was to go and set up the oil refinery there. And I think that was the best thing, because going there, it's sort of being in that kind of lifestyle. My daughter had to go through homeschooling, so she wasn't in a proper school. Everything changed. Tutors would come in, and actually, no, I had a friend, the very well-known family in Uganda, the Madvanis. So they had set up a homeschooling at home, so she would go for that. And then I created my own community. So I'm the kind of person who believes that I'll survive anywhere as long as I have my friends with me and my family. For me, that's most important than anything else. And that's the reason I've been able to manage everywhere. And I moved there, set up, I was there for 5 years, and in between then, Wilma, which is a global player,
Of course. My Fright
asked me, yes, your Fright people, asked me if I could move to Ivory Coast. So I started handling Ivory Coast and shuttling between Uganda and Ivory Coast. And then came a time that, when can you move? So the choice was either to go to Ivory Coast or come to Ghana. Obviously, being a single parent, I had my nanny with me, who's been with me since my daughter was born. And I knew I can't take the excuse of being a woman and say that I can't travel, I can't do anything. So obviously she would have to come with me.
And you needed.
And moving to Ivory Coast would have been difficult, because then she wouldn't have been able to communicate. Exactly.
But let's talk about Fright, my baby. What did it take for you to turn it into Ghana's #1 oil brand?
Wow, if I tell you, so Fright, I came to Ghana. Now, obviously, I was coming in from an oil background in Kenya and then Uganda, and through Uganda, we were handling Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Congo, and Sudan.
Is there any country in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, you haven't
if I'm
been
not
to?
wrong, out of the 54, I think last I calculated, I've done 36 already, and counting.
And counting.
But I came here, and Fritol at the time used to be sold in white jerrycans.
Yes.
Now, traditionally, if you know anything about oil, white is supposed to be for coconut oil, because it represents the color and because it solidifies.
I've learned something.
So that's how you tend to see it in markets. Secondly, I remember I came, and the color of Fritol was the color of brake fluid. It was dark,
Very dark.
and blackish brown. And then they had this label of this woman on it, right? And the size was 900 ml. Instead of 1 liter. And then I remember going to speak to the previous owners, Unilever, and ask them that, okay, first I need to understand why the name Fritol, what does it mean? Secondly, can I see the agreement of the lady who you're using on the label? Because obviously there's copyright issues. We don't know whether she's alive, she's dead. Tomorrow she could sue us for using her images on everything. And then third, what was the reason for it to be 900 ml? So the first answer, nobody knew why it was called Fritol. It was just called Fritol, because it was fry, and then tol. They don't know anything about the lady. There is no information. And then third was that
random photo.
Yeah, and I'm sure they knew who the person was, but they never did probably the due diligence in terms of keeping the paperwork and stuff. And the third thing was 900 ml, because Ivory Coast is doing it. And I'm like, okay, French speaking, English speaking. So I said, okay, it means go back to the drawing board. So the first thing I did was go into the market. And two things that I picked at that time: everyone fries everything in Ghana.
Yes.
Everything is fried.
You use tons of
Absolutely,
oil.
a lot. And secondly, I realized men loved cooking. and men loved being in stuff that had anything to do with eating, barbecuing, the chop bars. It was always about men. So I said, okay, and then I started playing around, and I was like, these guys are frying everything. So then I started understanding the accent, and then Fright all. Then I was like, oh, it's Fright all. So I went and changed the label. So I made the image about all foods that had to do with frying. So if you look at the original label, it had chips, it had drumsticks, it had fish. So it was done very beautifully. We removed the image of the person. We moved to 1 liter because obviously if a consumer is going to go into the shelf, everyone else is 1 liter. You sell them a 900 ml at the price of 1 liter. That is just not something that we should be doing, because integrity was very key for us. And then the big challenge was that we were running a Unilever's refinery, which was a 200-ton refinery, was only able to produce 80 tons a day. And we were putting up a new refinery, which was going to do 1,000 tons a day.
Wow.
Now, this was the challenge that was thrown to me by my bosses at the time. So what do we do? So the first thing was to obviously create the market for it. And second was that to be able to start bringing the product, to start feeding it, because you don't wait for day one to start producing 1,000 tons, because you need to know who you're going to sell it to.
Exactly.
So what we did was to now bring in the imported quality of what we were going to also start refining, so that when you see the oil, it's golden liquid, it's clear, it's not going to have sediments, it looks like a proper imported oil. So what we did was we started importing the oil in the way that we thought it was going to
and then
look. And start using that to also build distribution, because remember, when Ghanaian importers were importing oil, they would pay dollars, right? You don't know when the goods are going to come. Sometimes they're late, they're delayed, prices have changed. If a 40-footer is going to carry 1,200 jerrycans, for example, or a 20-footer container, chances are 2 will be damaged. Who are you going to go back to in Malaysia or Indonesia to replace? So the first thing I did was to go to them and say, listen, we're taking away all these hassles for you, because now if there's a customer complaint, we're here to deal with it. We're able to give you the product consistently. 2, you do not have to take your dollars and take it out, because I'm a firm believer that every time you send a dollar out of this country, it's money that's never coming back. But if that $1 today, which is at 10 Ghana cedis, it rotates at least 8 times within the country, right? So we need to start looking at how do we keep things within the system. And then obviously we came in with a lot of areas which nobody ever done. If anyone ever hears West Africa, you never hear credit in West Africa, because you hear credit means you're never going to see that money again. So I remember my my boss at the time, who had been in Ghana for a long time, and he kept telling me, no, we can't do this. And I'm the last person you ever say no to. I just don't like being told no. So went in and offered credit to the market and said we can do this, obviously against certain bank guarantees. And before we knew it, I think the first day of the plant, we put out 900 tons on the first day.
Wow.
Of the 1,000.
And then now,
and then in the first year, I got 80% market share.
Fantastic. When they lost Fatima, they lost it, didn't they?
They lost. Oh yeah, that I can tell you for sure, because the day it did happen. See, building a brand also has a lot to do with relationships, right? The image that I create for myself, the image that I build in terms of relationship, because relationships are about trust. Relationships are about knowing that you can take care of whatever problems that I have. Relationships are about holding space, right? And all the distributors that I worked with, I had a fantastic relationship with them.
You knew them all?
I knew them personally, all. I mean, I still have a relationship with them to date, even though I don't have any work with them. These are people that somebody will call me and say, I need help for medical in India. I will sort it out. If somebody says, oh, let's meet up for coffee, I'll do that. So I'm a firm believer of relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever. That said, it's just a thing that whenever I leave anything, I don't know whether people want to call it destiny or whatever, but when I walk out of something, and if I walk out when I'm not happy or I feel, then somehow everything just goes with me.
Your energy.
It's energy.
Your energy. But you've worked across different sectors. I know you've done a bit in agriculture, you've done a bit in
I've done
telecom
everything.
as well. I've done everything.
I've done tires, I've done cement, I've done everything.
But is branding sort of uniform across all these sectors?
In terms of branding, yes, but not necessarily in terms of the approach to each one, because branding has tonality, it has voice, it has image, it has persona. I mean, when somebody tells you, I don't want to mention brands on here, but if I took a particular brand, you have to visualize it as a person. If it walked in here right now, what would that person look like? Are they bubbly? Are they arrogant? Do they bring sunshine or do they bring doom? So brands actually have a persona to them. Now, what is most important, and this is the area that I feel a lot of marketers today are really, really not as I would say during our time, you know, is they are not very good at data. And data is information, and information is intelligence. But we're so busy just picking data and not converting it into intelligence to tell you where is there a problem, what is the issue, how do we need to address it, why are people doing it? Like I was just talking to one of the players and I was like, do you know what people do with mayonnaise in their hair? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, mayonnaise is the best thing to put on your hair as a conditioner, right? How many people even know that a lot of people use cooking oil as body lotion? So these little insights, you know, are so important because then it tells you when a person is buying a product, how long is it going to stay to be consumed? How do they use it? So again, like I said, it's about moving out, going and not expecting that a research agency is going to conduct your research for you and is going to tell you, oh, we've realized, you know, segment C and lifestyle 1 are using this much, their shopping basket has dropped to this price. It's not about that. Branding is just, yes, a mark. Now, you know very well that branding originated from slave trade, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay.
No. So now tell us.
So now let me tell you. So branding first started with slaves. When slave trade was happening, you had to put an iron mark on them to move them. This one belongs to the UK, this one belongs to Denmark, this one belongs to wherever, you know. That's where it started from. And then it went on to animals. Because then
now
you started knowing who is your animal,
yes,
so this belongs to this.
This farm,
that's how branding starts. So that's what branding is about putting a mark of identity and ownership to a certain thing, a person, a company. That's what branding is.
That's amazing. I never ever thought of it. I knew branding of slaves, but I didn't know that was the real origin of branding.
Yeah.
So you're not just a brand expert.
No, that's just one part.
That's just one part of you.
Yeah.
You're an advocate for young women. How does that all come about? How does that become part of you?
The reason I do that a lot is because in my faith, it says if there's one thing, I mean, it's not one of the things, there are many things that you can do that will actually take care of you even in the hereafter, right? We're all souls. And knowledge is one of it, because there is no limit to knowledge and it being a gift. And I don't know, with the knowledge that I impart today, the difference that it can make in somebody's life, and because of them, it might make a difference in somebody else's life. So it's about the trickle effect on it. Secondly, because I came from a family where I had a very strong mother, a very strong woman, I am where I am today because of what I keep saying, her prayers reaches places before I reach, right? And then I have a daughter, right? And I never knew what path she was going to take, but every day I see my daughter, I speak to her, I just realize, oh my God, she's such a mini me, right? So without her wanting to say it, she's actually taken me as an idol for herself. So it put me in a situation to realize that I wish I knew a lot of things, because sometimes coming from a very strong family or a support mechanism does not give you the reality of what life is really like outside and how hard, because you're protected, you're shielded. And that's it. And it made me become a hard mom. My daughter will tell you I'm a very hard mother. I don't have time for
we have so
all the niceties. Oh yeah, I don't.
So many similarities.
So my daughter, I told her, until you've told me your leg's broken and you can't walk in a cast, you're still going to school, whether it's malaria or whatever. She's never had to miss school because she's had malaria or she's sick. Because
I wish my kids would watch this.
Because I just keep saying that life is not going to be kind to you.
Not all the time.
And unfortunately, every day I just get to be exposed to the ugliness of humans. You know, it's just really, really sad. Every day I want to find one good person. I mean, there are a few of those, but when you compare it to, everyone's got an agenda, everyone's got a reason to want to bring you down, and they don't even know why they want to bring you down. You know, it's just probably their own insecurities and their own fears.
I think your energy is just too much for them to take. So they want to make sure they suppress it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's going to help you, because I never have an intention to ever hurt anyone.
And that's why you still shine.
You know, and yeah, that I keep saying it's going to happen.
Yes.
You know, but we're all human, we're all vulnerable. So in that space, I've got a very close friend here, Edith. I'm sure you would know her, Uyo Bukeri.
Okay.
And she runs a program called Little Big Souls. Yes.
She's a relative.
Yeah. Oh, she is? Oh, wow. Okay. So Edith and I are like tied at the hip. She's my sister. They're two sisters. Surprisingly, you know both of them. You know her and you know Gina.
Yes.
And when she was doing this program, I just got pulled into it. And I have never turned back, ever. And I look at the girls who I mentor, for example, on vision boards. I can't tell you how many of those girls, everything, if not 60 to 80% of stuff that they've put have come to realization.
Wow.
You know, I do programs right now with the GNBCC, which is the Ghana Netherlands Business Council. I'm mentoring, as of today, 18 women in business who are in growth stage. And I just don't know, it's like a calling that maybe what I wasn't able to do for myself in my time, or have somebody to hold my hand and show me the road, because I was a career person and always just being in career. I wish I had known that I could do entrepreneurship at that time. Had I known that, I would be doing something totally different. Exactly. Yeah. So I want to give back to community, to society in that way. And I keep saying that when I had my brain stroke, I feel that my brain was wired differently and something happened to me. And I'm not saying this with disrespect, or I'm not saying it with pride or trying to sound very whatever, but I just believe that my intellectual level reached something, I can't explain it, I don't know, and I keep saying this, something happened to me, and I just feel like I'm a walking encyclopedia. There's nothing that you can speak or discuss with me that I don't know. And it's scary that when, especially the people that I like to converse with are men, and I can be in that room and sometimes I realize that I'm actually,
for boot.
Not even I just realize, oh, Chale, you're here.
You killed them.
I'm just here. So sometimes it's scary because it's not intentional.
But don't you think that's intimidating?
So this is interesting that you use this word, because it was just Gina the other day that I was saying, I said, there's nothing about being intimidating. It is you being intimidated. I'm not intimidating.
You're not intimidating.
I'm not intimidating.
You've decided to call it intimidation.
Exactly. So you are the one that's intimidated, you know. And if we're okay to understand that everyone comes in their power in different ways, let's just embrace it, as long as it's not affecting you. And that's why, again, it goes back to being a brand. That's the reason I have red hair. It was redder than this. And then my daughter was like, Mom, you're 52, please, for crying out loud. So New Year's Eve, I turned it back to black. I didn't last even a month. I went back
to red.
So I just now started with streaks, and I know I'm going to go back, because the red represents fire, fight. My whole life has been about a fight. It's been about battles. It's been about being the only female in boardrooms. It's about trying to get your voice heard by your bosses, somebody else trying to showcase your little girl, you know, you don't know what you're saying. So in that space, African Brand Warrior came into being because it was about going to the battlefield of brands, right? And it's never about the bloodshed. It's just knowing that it's a war, but it's a war about one brand against the other. And I believe competition is great, because ultimately it's the consumers who win. So if you better yours and I better mine, that's it. But you need to have a brand image. So if anybody sees Fatima, they know Fatima is confident. She put her foot in her mouth. She says what she feels. She's very, very tough. Yeah, and she's got red hair.
Yeah.
So that's the brand, right? And that means when I walk into a room, and if I make you intimidated, that's also a brand.
That's a good thing. For you, it is.
For me, absolutely.
It's nice to have conversations with intelligent women.
Thank you.
But you're a queen mother.
I'm queen mothers. I'm a queen mother in 2 different regions.
2 different regions. And that is a testament to the work you're doing in the communities.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first, to the audience, I don't want any more stooling. I keep saying, if you're stooling me, please stool me in the Ashanti region now, because I believe that's where the money is, that's where the gold is. But to be fair, I'm stooled in the Ahanta region, in Memia, right next to Takoradi. It's a fishing community. And then I'm stooled in Hohwe, in the Volta region. Yeah, both of them was because of community work.
So what were you doing in the community?
So the first one was obviously in the Nzima land, and the Hunter was because I was doing things with schools and children during the Fright days.
Okay.
And the idea was about littering and about vitamins and getting children to understand, because we're not nurturing children in the right way for them to start asking the questions that they need to ask. We just pump them with everything. So I used to run competitions and stuff like that. And before I knew it, and then I did a disabled project.
Okay.
And what had happened was I just felt we'd reached a point where at that time we had an 80% market share. What more can I do, you know, and that is what has changed my approach to marketing. With all my clients today, I only work on social change marketing.
Okay.
Whereas I will make your brand number one, I will make people love you, and through you being the number one, I'm hoping you're going to do activities that's going to change communities. So it has got to be linked to making a difference.
Okay.
So I remember at the time, I told my boss that I was going to be running a program so I did two things. One, we were going through Dumso in Ghana, and everybody would just talk about Dumso, there's no light. So I was like, okay, enough of this negativity. And you read the newspapers and they always tell you 1% of our profits, you know, of companies go into whatever. So I said, okay, what are we going to do? So I went and ran a program I took the list of Dumso schedule, and then I found the days there was no power. I took a van, I took a storyteller, and I took them in different languages. If somebody's speaking in Ewe, another one in Fati, another one in Ga, split them across the country. And what I did was to get them to do storytelling with bonfire. We brought the bonfire and everything, because what I realized was during the Dumso period, men were out drinking or doing their thing. Women were just doing kokonsa, and children were left on their own.
Yes.
So this was a way to bring everybody together. And it worked. And I remember this little girl, I cannot forget, it was in Osu in the background going towards Jamestown. And she was carrying her slippers, and she says, Auntie, Auntie, from today I will not fight with my sister for food. For me, that is what brand is. And then we ran a dine in the dark at Labadi Hotel, and we made sure there was no light at the hall. And we invited people, we told them to select their foods beforehand, and people dined in the dark with no spoons, no knives. And people, I remember sitting in that hall, and people were screaming, some were crying, there was prayers closed. It clearly showed that people were scared of the darkness. But they did not understand that they had other senses that they could use to do whatever they needed to do in life. So it meant appreciate, because I tell people, this light that we have can only be appreciated because darkness exists. Without darkness, there is no light.
Exactly.
So that's what we did. And Fright again took the lead.
And this was another Fright
That was it. And then I did for the disabled. I went and looked for people at street spots. And the company at the time said they were not going to do it. So I went and found a distributor. I said, you know, you're already earning this kind of margin. Would you be willing to pass this much? These are the people I've identified. Can we give them a business? So what I did was I went and created tricycles, bicycles, push carts, depending on the type of disability that you had on your leg. And I started getting them to start selling the product.
Amazing stuff. Wow. What legacy are you most proud of? Would it be the Frito?
As a brand? It would be many. Fortune is one of my favorites in Uganda.
Fortune rice.
Fortune here, it's rice. In Uganda, it is oil in the other markets as well. Fright here in Uganda. Oh my God, in Kenya. There's so many. There's Golden Fry. There's Gentle. I work on a lot of brands here as well.
You truly are a powerhouse. You truly. But what's next for Fatima?
I don't know. I just go with the flow. I don't have a plan for tomorrow. I don't know.
You don't have a business plan?
I don't have. I'm a believer that you just put it out there. Whatever's supposed to happen will happen. But what I do know is I'm starting master classes. So that is something that I'm working on.
Oh, I'd love to be on one of those.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes,
I'm doing this because I believe that I have so much knowledge that I need to share. And one day I'm just going to take it with me to the grave. So why not impart it and put it out there? So I'm working on the master classes. That is the thing that I'm doing as a project right now.
Amazing. If there was one thing that we could use to describe Fatima, what would it be?
Fierce, loyal.
Redhead.
Redhead. That's the fierceness.
That's the fierceness. So we're going to lighten it up a little. We're going to move on to this set now, and I've got a few questions I want to ask you.
Sure.
There would have been 5, but I think I found a little bit more than 5. Okay. So come quick, come with me.
So I guess the different stool talks.
Yes, yes. So this is lightening it up a bit.
Okay, great.
So now it's a quick fire round, and I've got a few questions. Sure. I think it's 7 in number, which I'd like for you to tell me. Top of the man, what comes to you? One brand you admire. Top of the mind.
No, there's none that I could say I really admire.
Really?
Or
their brands?
There would be many brands, but I don't think any brand has been very, very honest. And maybe again, because I say this as a marketer, so it's very difficult for me to look at it and say I would admire. Yeah. But if there's one that I would look at and say that I think it was authentic from day one and has consistently been, is Dove.
It's Dove. Wow. And that's why it stands out to you.
Yes.
Out of the batch. And where do you think every African entrepreneur should embrace?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. So please explain for somebody watching, what is entrepreneurship?
Going into business, understanding that having a job is not where it all ends. Everyone has to have a hustle on the side.
Interesting. Your go-to mantra before a big pitch or presentation that grounds or energizes you?
If this is meant for me, God, then so be it.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a spiritual one. Okay, now next one. As I figure out how to turn the page. If branding were food, what would it be and why?
Oh, it's got to be chicken cuisine. So that's chicken. It's a traditional Kenyan dish. And it's cooked in just red chili sauce
that's hot.
And butter and lemon. And the reason is that because it gives you the flavor of everything from bitterness to sweetness to tanginess. And I think that's what brands are supposed to do. So there's no such thing as you would love a brand, right? There's got to be certain things that you don't like about it. And then what we have to do is to work on that to make it more palatable.
Wow. What's the boldest career move you've ever made?
Quitting my job.
Why did you have to?
Let's just say that they put me in a compromising situation which I didn't like. And let me tell you, I woke up crying after 3-4 days, like you're in a salary that nobody can ever imagine. I don't want the tax guys behind me, but trust me, it was huge. And then to move to now you working on billing clients and all that, I mean, I would never change it for anything else now.
I was going to ask, that's the next question, do you regret it?
No.
At all? You're happy you made that
I'm very
move.
happy because
you're more fulfilled now.
And I can do things my way now. I'm very, very conscious when it comes to integrity. And one thing that I will never allow or ever put myself in a situation is to have my integrity questioned.
You're compromised. Okay. Build people or build profits?
People.
People, for sure. You're a people person. Now the last question, let's lighten this to show your fun side. What's your guilty pleasure after a long day of building brands? Dancing, a glass of wine, dinner with
I don't
friends.
drink alcohol because I'm naturally high on life, but also for my religious aspects. And I've lost a lot of people through seeing them drinking, so I don't see it adding any value. I love to watch movies. I love to read. So I'm at a stage where even, I don't know if you do that, but I could be reading on my phone to the point it falls on my face because I'm already falling asleep, or sometimes it's falling off.
Mine is crossword puzzles.
Yeah, so I have in the car, I have crossword, I have Sudoku. I like things that challenge
my brain all the time, and I fall asleep with that. Yeah,
that's it.
I fall asleep with that.
So I could be doing it, it could be reading, and that's why I keep saying when I say that there's nothing that I will not know, and if I don't know, I will go and learn it. It's because I read a lot.
A lot. You do the reading. I don't read. I just think things that task my brain. I don't have the time to read. I read.
No, but I don't. But, okay, so I don't. Now that's the interesting thing. I will
e-books.
Never read. No. I don't read a book from start to finish. I have a very bad behavior. I could be reading multiple books at the same time.
You're one of those.
Yeah. So I have books in the toilet. I have books in the car. I have
and
books
you can pick.
I can just pick, and then I'll just whatever, because I look for key things.
Interesting.
It's not.
Do you know? I can read a novel and I can get lost in the novel. I need to sort of unwind from that topic to get into another one.
No, so that's not me. I can switch. I don't even have to be
many things.
And then I can continue after a couple of months, and I'll remember what the story was, and I will continue going ahead.
You're gifted. Well, we're going to go for a commercial break, and when we come back, Fatima's activity. I can't wait to see what it is.
Can you imagine baked beans in an Indian twist?
So yes, activity time. Welcome back. Fatima is going to be doing a twist on baked beans. So let's keep our eyes on this. So tell us, what do you have here?
So basically, you know how we have coffee brokman, plantain for the poor?
Yeah.
I say baked beans is always like for the poor in the Indian or whatever, but I've learned how to turn it into
a nice gourmet
meal. And especially during my uni days is what I used to do. And it's become my comfort food. So I can have it, and you can have it with rice, you can have it with bread, but it's been given the Indian flavor.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a little spicy.
Yep.
I can see. So walk us through the ingredients.
So we have baked beans here.
Okay.
From our favorite sponsor brand.
Gino.
Gino. Then we have cumin seeds, which we call jeera in Indian. We have some oil. We have onions. We have garlic. We have some salt. We have green chilies, and we have curry leaves. And then spices that I make of my own at home. So I blend my own spices. So
this powerhouse cooks, guys.
I cook all my meals. Every single one. This
powerhouse cooks 3 meals a day that she eats, and she
I
consumes
host,
herself.
and I love to host.
Oh my goodness!
For foods, yeah, I do.
You
because
are
I just believe when you
superwoman.
cook it, there's just something.
Yes, when you actually apply yourself to it. Yes.
Yep.
Not get the cook it.
Yeah, I know, but I do.
So Gina does the same as well.
Yes.
You guys, maybe it's an Indian thing.
I think it is. I think we've been nurtured to be in that. But hey, listen, I know a lot of women in this town who'd never go into the kitchen. They'd rather have chefs doing that.
So all of this is going to go in there?
So, yep, so that's coriander powder. That is turmeric powder.
Yes, okay.
That is the cumin powder of
which
the seeds.
you call jeera.
And then that's
red
just
chili.
red chili.
Okay.
But that's the long dried red chilies that you
The
find
dried ones that we can find
yeah.
locally.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start now.
Great.
So we're going to turn that on, careful, all the way down until you hear a click. Yes, that's it.
Ooh,
so
okay, so then
there.
I can just reduce that to before we have our beans cooking at a very fast.
So,
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put in a little bit of oil in there. And if you notice, the pan although has a copper
bottom.
Yep, so it's very, very good for cooking.
Okay.
And then what we do is
you flavor the oil immediately.
With curry
oil,
leaves.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, with cumin powder.
Seeds.
Now you're going to find, oh, this is a bit too hot. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to throw in, we're going to have a smoky studio.
Yeah.
Then we have in curry leaves.
Okay.
Just straight away throw in some garlic in there. Okay. Then we're going to throw in green chilies. It's a very quick dish, and Ghanaians love
because
chilies.
what happens, I found, is when you try to do this and you don't cook quick enough,
it's going to
the beans
get mushy.
Yes.
Very, very mushy. So all we're doing is just so that your garlic does not taste
the aroma.
And it's basically the cumin seeds that does it, and the curry leaves. Now, you know, curry leaves is also good for hair.
Which is...
And I'm 52, and you can see the kind of, my hair can stitch a dress. I keep saying one strand. So curry leaves just infused in oil.
So what do you do?
So you just mix it with, or did I switch it off?
Yeah.
You put it into, perfect. I think we just need to take it a little lower, yeah. And you put it into oil. So it could be coconut oil, it can be any oil that you want to put in. And then you just add it, let it infuse it with some rosemary
for how
leaves
long?
as well. Just the oil's going to be hot.
Okay.
And then you let it sit. You can sit overnight, and then you just strain it, and you use it for your hair.
And so you use it how often? Once a week?
Once a week. It's up to you, because some
and then you
people
wash it out.
You wash it off. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going in with some red chilies in there. We're going in
as you get older, you need all the remedies to keep your hair from thinning.
Then you have turmeric in there, and all that, that's good for inflammation.
Yeah.
Then you have coriander. My favorite is cumin and coriander.
Tons of that go in.
It's my favorite because I believe, so Indian dishes, if you're going to be making anything that's vegetarian, and in this case beans are vegetarian, then you only use cumin and coriander.
Oh.
If you're making meats, then you will be putting in stuff like garam masala, which is spices that contain cloves and cinnamon and stuff like that in there. Can you see that? It's just changed the color. I love this. Is my favorite food. So yep, you'd never go hungry even if you're a career woman.
With beans.
With beans.
Beans mean Gino.
Yep.
You got it.
Well, it's very interesting. So Gino was my competitor in those days when I was doing Fright. And if you speak to people at Gino, they will tell you the one person, they say she kicked us out of the oil industry, and that's the reason you don't find Gino in oil. But I think they're such a strong brand, amazing brand, and they really have an amazing team as well that work with them. And they're really a truly marketing company. They really do know their stuff. That's just some salt, and voila.
So you put that at the end.
That's it.
So I do mine with garlic, with onions, with chili, none of the above.
The cumin seeds.
None of that. And then seasoning powder instead of salt.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the seasoning powder obviously has all the other stuff. It's got black pepper.
Yeah,
it's got.
so then
It's just like having a curry powder.
And then just a little bit
and that's
of
it.
Thingy.
And
This
that's
is
an
nice.
Indian flavor. I'm just checking. Yeah, we're good
Yes,
to go.
we're still.
I think
You want it to.
You know how Indian noses can tell that
There's not enough chili.
Yeah. And come on, this is the beauty about Ghana. Ghanaians love chili just like Indians.
yes.
Oh my God, they just
But
love it.
Kenyans don't.
Kenyans were not very, very spicy. No.
Yeah.
No, we're not very. And voila, and the team can enjoy this.
This is amazing. Well, I'm going to enjoy it before the team does.
So there we go, and we're
I
ready.
get the first bite.
And we're done.
Oh, so that goes off.
And that's it.
You know, I'm always in a hurry to taste something when it's food related.
Well, it's going to be piping hot.
It's piping hot, but we're just going to wait for it to, and just have a little. As much as I only eat baked beans when they're seasoned.
It's the only thing that when I see in a buffet, I'd go for, because I like to soak my bread and everything in it.
Okay. Okay. I hope it's not too hot. Amazing.
Now, you know, you can just double the spices.
No, I don't do well with spices.
Okay.
I'm one Ghanaian who doesn't eat spices. I used to, I think I overdid it.
Ah, okay.
And so now, I stay well away from it.
Can you get the taste of the curry leaves in there?
And the cumin.
Yeah.
I
Of
think
which you
my
are not a fan of.
Yes. I think my production team would like to kill me because I seem to eat it all the time when it comes. But anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna have another spoon. Yes, okay. So as I keep going on and on, this is absolutely amazing. Now that was absolutely delicious. Guys, I hope you enjoy the activity and you're gonna try it at home. Fatima, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you
It's
for having
meant
me.
a lot. It's good to reconnect.
Thank you.
And like you said, everything happens for a
For a
reason.
reason.
So now I know where I'm getting my curry leaves
Yes,
from,
you
don't
do.
I? But you don't go empty-handed. Before I give you your parcel, which is from our sponsors, I want to wish you the very best for the
Thank
future,
you.
for yourself, for your daughter, for every wish that you have for yourself.
Thank you.
Okay?
I always say the wishes should always be, I wish you only that is good and great for you.
I wish you only that which is good
And great for you.
For you.
Because sometimes we may wish certain things which are really not
good
for us.
for you. So that
Ourselves.
may what is destined for you be
Be
yours.
for you. Amen.
Okay? That's
Amen.
it. Anyway, so that's my time for me to get the present. And
Oh wow, my favorite brands.
your brands, your brands, your brands.
Yes, oh my.
So we're
thank
doing
you.
better than your brand does. We're giving you free gifts.
Thank you. I love anything that's free.
So you've got
Thank
everything.
you.
There's
And
some
yes-
curry powder in there.
And you know I use all of them. Yeah,
more baked beans.
So this is, I'll tell you one day, if I ever come back on the show, how to make Swahili biryani.
Okay.
Just using
The pepper.
just using
this.
that tomato paste and yogurt and the chicken.
Seriously.
Yep.
I think I have to have a cookery show with you in there.
I'll tell you, I love to cook. And if there was anything else I would do in life, there was two things. One is to sing, which I can't for my dear life.
I was going to ask you to sing.
So it has been compensated in terms of cooking.
There was somebody who loves it. I used to love cooking till cooking became my work. And yes, every now and again I like to do it and then sort of pull my collar and say, I've still got
Yeah.
it. But other times I'd rather not.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
But no, I'd rather do it because for me, cooking is sort of
Therapeutic?
it's therapeutic and I can experiment. There's nothing you can tell me not to make. It's like I say, the same thing with marketing. There's nothing you're going to tell me about a brand. I
that
will
you
go and
can.
get it. I'll do it.
Have you tried to cook any Ghanaian dishes?
I did. I love the groundnut soup because I love peanuts. I love
Okay.
anything to do with groundnut. That's
Okay.
the only one. I'm still not a very big fan of Ghanaian food, only because I don't do fish. So everything's going to do fish and
fish
shrimp.
powder,
so I don't
shrimp
eat
powder and
so
things
I
like that.
don't eat any
Okay.
of that. So you give me chicken groundnut soup, I'm done. You give me fufu, I'm fine. Why? Because in Kenya we eat ugali.
Oh,
So
yes.
that is
It's the same.
same
Okay.
thing for us. Yeah. And then everything's just too spicy.
But anyway, you
But,
eat
and then
spice.
kelewele, you give me for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
You'll eat it.
I'm sorted. And I fly with that. Even now I'm sending some to Kenya.
Are you
with
serious?
friends when they go back. I took some for
The
my daughter.
spices, you mean?
No, no, no.
The actual kelewele
kelewele.
fried?
Fried.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
fly with foods that are cooked.
Are you serious? But do you
That's
get
what
do you
I
get plantains in Kenya?
No, I mean, you
don't?
get it in the western part, but it's not similar to what we get
Okay,
here. Yeah,
'cause
and then you
otherwise
guys
I
do
would-
it very differently with the ginger and putting in the spice and all, which is not what we do.
I think what I'm going to do for you next time you're going, if I get to know you're going, I'll ask Gina. I'll give you a couple of plantains, and I'm going to give you the mix so you can
Please.
go there, fry it, and get
And
it
then
the way
get-
you want.
I'd love that.
So that's my promise for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Lovely having you here. Thank you
Love
so
this.
so
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. I appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
viewers, I hope you enjoyed Fatima's story, and we're now going to go to the world of trendy. What to wear when you have nothing to wear. Really? Well, let's see what this says.
What to wear when you have nothing to wear? From closet crisis to effortless slay, we've all had those mornings where nothing feels right. But style isn't about having more. It's about knowing how to work what you've got. Today on Trendy Women, we're breaking down the ultimate guide to dressing when you have nothing to wear. Start with a base, like jeans and a t-shirt. Then layer smart. A blazer, oversized shirt, or denim jacket can take a basic look to styled in seconds. Play with proportions. Loose top, fitted bottoms. Crop top, wide leg pants. It's all about balance. Stuck on colors? Go monochrome. Or black or beige. It always looks polished. Accessories? Your secret weapon. A bold earring or a classic bag can flip the whole vibe. Shoes set the tone. Sneakers for cool, heels for glam, boots for edge. And don't forget, confidence is the first thing you put on. So next time your wardrobe gives you attitude, show it who's boss.
I hope you've enjoyed the Trendy Woman segment. It's a problem every woman has. What to wear when you have nothing to wear. Meanwhile, you have a whole wardrobe. Now, one tip for you, though, is that to invest in separates, individual things, because then with 2 tops, 2 trousers, you have more than 4 outfits. So that's my advice to you. But stay tuned because we still have Woman on the Move.
Hi everyone, my name is Kezia and I specialize in selling gold-plated jewelry. So it started off as a hobby. I needed to keep myself busy because I had a fresh baby and I needed something to keep me busy at home. So I think I'm passionate about offering unique pieces, statement pieces that will help people express their unique, style. So it's actually an online business. On a typical day where I go for pop-ups, it can get really busy. The challenge that I face till now is not having a readily available product for a customer. As a jewelry vendor, most of the time, some customers expect more from you. They expect, different kinds of pieces. So not having that available is a challenge. The fact that I need to put in more effort, and also when it comes to finance, the amount of money that goes into it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. In the next few years, I would want to have my own jewelry shop. I want to be able to design my own unique pieces. On a tough day, I think I encourage myself. I just relax and take it easy. The advice I'll give to someone trying to start her own business is that start now. You don't need a lot of money to start. Just start with what you have. Start with the available things that you have, and it will get better, you know. As you keep doing it, it gets better.
As always, I hope our Woman on the Move was inspiring. Next week, we have yet another person. I hope you'll keep a date with us. My dear viewers, Fatima's story is proof that branding is not about selling. It's about serving. It's about listening, lifting, and leading with purpose. As you can see, she has built brands, shaped industries, mentored the next generation, and shown that when women rise in power and principle, whole nations rise with them. To every woman watching today, your story is your brand. Own it, lead with it, and let it shine. A big thank you, as always, to my sponsors, Gino Tomato Mix, Onion and Pepper Mix, Jollof Mix, and Esso Aesthetics. And an equally huge thank you to you, my dear viewers, for joining us on the Today's Woman show today. Until next time, you are called, you are chosen, you are today's woman.
Today's Woman is brought to you by
Gino Pomo Tomato Mix.